Today, my friends, we're going to be teaching you guys Electron Lalo at Town Hall 11, and this strategy is really by far one of the strongest attacks in the game. And I would definitely say if you are willing to learn Lalo, then this is going to be the strategy for you. So let's talk about a couple things before we actually get into looking at this example. For one, this is an Electron Lalo. So what makes this Electron? So typically this is going to be when you're using a clone spell and Electro Dragons with cloned balloons. This is going to either be in one of two siege machines. It's either going to be in the Stone Slammer or it's going to be in the Battle Blimp. Primarily, the Stone Slammer's job in this case is going to be going from defense to defense, easy pathing mind you, in order to get to the queen compartment. That way it can kill off the enemy queen and the enemy CC with little to no issue. This strategy works really well, especially on damage CCs, and it can also work against Lava Hound CCs. We're going to kind of go over that a little bit later on how you guys can deal with that without having to deal with the Lava Pups. And one of the biggest things as well is how do we choose between a Battle Blimp or a Stone Slammer? Stone Slammer can get a lot of good value if you work if it works its way all the way over to at least close to the queen. Let's sort of zoom in, just click on that queen sort of altar and see the range. So what we need this Stone Slammer to do is go to this air defense, go to here, and then just start moving its way over this direction. Once it gets around to there, that's when it's most likely going to pop, and you can get some really good value from there. So those are just going to be a couple things that you're looking for. What about a Battle Blimp? Now let's say, for instance, the pathing is not as great, and the Town Hall is, let's say, well, let's keep it right there. So what we're going to look at is we want to enter in from this direction. This way, of course, we're going to be able to kill off the enemy queen, and we can still get some value with this Electron. Typically, with this strategy, you are definitely 100% looking for the enemy CC and enemy queen. And typically, if it's a damage CC, then that's going to be a good sort of, key thing to get. Things such as Infernos, Eagle, Expos, Archer Towers, air defenses, and wizard towers, those are all going to be extra value that you can get from the base. You don't always need to get every single air defense. Think of this as a Sui Lalo, but with an extra kill squad. And that's really where this strategy is sort of very powerful. You're using two different type of kill squads that can still get a lot of value. One, value from the inside and value from the outside. Pathing for your Lalo is always going to be super critical. Now, before we actually go into this example, I want to show you guys towards the bottom of your screen right here, or maybe, yeah, right here, just covering me, you're going to see the number of loons per defense. One of the biggest things here to understand is that each of these defenses, of course, are going to be hit by a different sort of number of balloons. Keep in mind that this is going to be the exact number that you need to one-shot them, so you will need more to go into from defense to defense. And that's really huge with this. So maybe let's say you're going from cannon to wizard tower. So you need to have more than 4 loons or 5 loons. That's going to be really important as we go on later on. But most of the time, this really isn't necessary. It's only necessary for the placement of them, so that then when they start to bunch up, then you sort of understand that. So now we're going to show you guys this example. First of which, what this strategy offers is we are using 2 Electro Dragons to create the funnel. This way, what we're going to be able to do is clear up the defenses on the outside here. So the main reason to why we want to do this is because, for one, these defenses are going to lure out the Stone Slammer to stay on the outside. We want that Stone Slammer to go in. One of the biggest things as well is the only reason we're charging in from there is because this air sweeper is pointed in a different direction to our entry point. That allows us to actually use our Stone Slammer without it being pushed in order to get value from the base. That is going to be a huge thing. And that's why we have Electro Dragons to create the funnel. You may think that it's a YOLO-tron, but it's not. So what you'll see here is that we're going to rage up the Stone Slammer, and which, of course, it doesn't happen, but we're going to rage up the balloons and the Electro Dragon. And this is going to allow us to have those cloned loons do a lot of work around the base, and the Electro Dragons are going to work really well around the base as well. Once we've gotten a good amount of value, you can see that there's only one air defense left. So this is really a really strong method, especially if you have 2 Electro Dragons within the base. They can definitely do some work. So now what you'll see is that now, after that air defense was taken out, there's no more air defenses. Now you just have to do a lava loon portion through the rest of the base. This is really where you got to make sure that you know haste spell placement. Haste spells should be used to get through stuff like Tesla farms, get them through multi-infernos, wizard towers, expos, get them to those key structures, because those are going to be huge in order to sort of take out. You really can't do a Lalo like this without having to make sure that your haste are being placed in the right order. So really where you can get the most amount of value, which is those key structures, that is going to be important. Now you can see that we did use the Grand Warden's ability. The Grand Warden ability should be used to protect at least most to all of the loons that are left within the base. But other than that, it's still going to be a fairly simple way of 3-starring. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to our next example using the Battle Blimp this time. So this example uses the Battle Blimp, and like I said before, the Battle Blimp versus Stone Slammer sort of thing is going to determine on how the defenses are placed. And one thing I forgot to mention with that is it's also going to be Town Hall placement. That's extremely important for the Battle Blimp. Knowing where that Town Hall is always going to be very, very important. I would say the only 2 siege machines that really you don't need to care about it is of course going to be the Stone Slammer and the Siege Barracks. Other than that, the other 2 siege machines that actually will go for the Town Hall is the Wall Wrecker and of course the Battle Blimp. So what's really important for us to know is going to be where that Town Hall is, and then we're going to go straight up here to the core, or around there. So we're going to use our sort of Electron right about here. So what we're going to do is we have wall breakers, and we want our queen to possibly move in here and get rid of this Inferno. However, you'll see here is that the queen is actually going to move on the outside, which is fine. Of course, you know, it definitely sucks that we didn't get our queen to move in, but we just got to adapt on the fly as well. With that being said, it's an easy way of using this attack. You'll see 3 Lava Hounds instead of only 2. As the last example, we were bringing in some Electro Dragons just in order to sort of get some of the sort of funneling value that we could do before we actually used our Electron. So now what you'll see is we're going to be starting off with this. We're going to start off with a Sui hero. So we're going to start off with our king, and he's going to just create a sort of funnel for our queen. You also see that we do have a couple Valkyries there in order to create the funnel. Valkyries are really good to create the funnel, especially since they go for the middle. So they'll hit 2 sort of buildings at a time, and that really offers you a lot of good value. So you'll see that what we're doing is we're just sort of carving that area out for the queen, but since that archer tower was still up, she's not going to move over to that wizard tower or multi-inferno, and she is not going to take it out. So you may already notice from here, there is a Lava Hound CC. So what is going to be the biggest thing that we got to do in order to take this out? Well, we're not going to. Instead, we're going to lure it with 1 archer over to here. That way what's going to happen is now we have the Electron going here, and then we don't need to worry about the enemy CC. That's how simple it is. So now you'll see that we're going to poison up the enemy clan castle, we're going to poison up any of those skellies, and then we're going to make sure that we're getting enough value from the base in order, and also chain value of course, but in order to get through the rest of the base here. So now what we're going to see is a lava loon going in. We're going to use those free spells, keep that Inferno frozen in order to get through it. Then we don't have to really burn a freeze there, or we don't have to use our Grand Warden's ability. So our Grand Warden is going to go in with that group of loons, and once that sort of starts to move in, you'll see that it will move in with the rest of the balloons here. That's where you can get more value from your Grand Warden. Keep making sure though that you're using your Grand Warden's ability specifically over the multi-inferno, so usually on the back end of the base is going to be extremely important. So even though we only got a couple loons, he really wasn't going too quick, so we couldn't get all of them. But that's still really important. So we got to make sure that we are taking a look at that, and that's always going to be really important. So you'll see with that haste, we're making sure that we're getting through that little Tesla farm there. That's one haste spot there. And other haste spots include things through like an eagle, of course, to the multi-inferno and stuff like that. So that's always going to be really important. What you can see from here is that we got a lot of good value from the base, and it was an easy wreck. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to a couple more examples that we have with this strategy, it being probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Lalo attack. So we're going to take a look at this base design here. You can tell that it's not as good as the other two bases I showed, but this is still one that you can easily wreck with this strategy. I would say that any type of base where it's compact or a ring base, you can take those out with an Electron really easily. So what we're going to see here is your traditional Lalo or Electron Lalo. 3 Lava Hounds, 30 balloons, 10 minions. That's almost a standard army composition. And then you could just really sort of give or take loons and stuff like that. You want to bring an Electro Dragon or something, that's going to be up to you. So the biggest thing here is you want to kill off the enemy CC and enemy Queen. From what you can see right here is that there are single target Infernos. Now you may also wonder, why are we not using a Stone Slammer? Well, the main reason is because even though we can chain right here and then move its way down, there's too many defensive structures within this first area here that's just going to make it too difficult. And also, the Town Hall is roughly in the center of the base, making it's going to be very easy just to drop in the Battle Blimp here and go towards that Town Hall. Really shouldn't be that hard, and it's a fairly simple way of actually 3-starring base designs with an Electron. So, with that being said, that just gives you guys that sort of, look into this. Of course, you can obviously tell that the Queen is not as protected because she is a lot closer to the outside than you're used to. But the biggest thing here is that there is also the single target Infernos. Easy to take out with just an Electron, and you're going to see how much of the base we're able to take out with just this Electron portion. We can also deal with the enemy CC very easily. Now you may already notice that we're dropping a Lava Hound and stuff already. We're starting our Lalo. Well, we're going to use a Sui hero on one side of the base, and then we're going to use our Lalo on the other. That's going to be really important. So you may already notice that we are not going for this Eagle, but you don't always need to go for the Eagle in a Lalo attack. Or most attacks you really don't need to as often go for it. But you can still see how much of the value that we got. We got some good chain from the base, and that just allows us to sort of create that pathing for the loons. So you'll see that as we go through the base, we're going to make sure that we're popping our Grand Warden's ability right around there. That way it can allow us to keep our loons alive, especially through the single Inferno and of course those Wizard Towers. And as we get through the core of the base, we want to make sure that we're keeping up those haste, making sure that we are keeping up with those balloons and allowing them to get right up through the rest of the base. But with that being said, that's an easy wreck here, and you can really see how strong this strategy really is here at Town Hall 11. Really, it's not that difficult at all. It really doesn't take too much effort to sort of use. It's a different type of kill squad, and it's super simple. That's really all I can say with this example. But with that being said as well, let's go ahead and move on to one last example using the Electron Lalo. So here we go, guys. We've got our last example, and the biggest thing here is you may notice that this is kind of a bait style base. The attacker or the defender is trying to bait us to go down into this area here. He wants to bait that so that then we're not going for the enemy CC. Well, joke's on him. We're going to be going for the bottom section here with the Sui hero and also the Electro Dragons. And what that's going to allow us to do is clear up this bottom section. Now, that may not be too much, but that's why we have the Stone Slammer. It's going to work its way in, and it's going to get some more value. So that way, what we're doing is we're clearing out the Queen. We don't have to worry about her now. And all we have to do is kill off the enemy CC if there is one, if it's a Lava Hound. And then also we can go ahead and deal with the rest of the base with the Electron, and then just Lalo the rest of it. So that's a really, really simple approach to this strategy. It's really not that difficult if you really think about it. It's not too difficult. It's not something that you can't really do. This base design, I would actually try to use this attack on. It's not as difficult as you may think, but you can see that there's a Tesla farm down there. There's a lot of damage. There's a lot of traps. So that's what we're doing here. You may think that that's not what we're doing, but it's really important because that is exactly what we're doing. So we're going to use our queen, get some value from there. Our king's just going to get some value for itself. And what we're going to be trying to do is kill off the enemy queen in order to get as much value down in that area. Now you may notice as well is even though our Electro Dragons are slowly but surely dying off, we've cleared out a good chunk of this area that really allows us to use our Electron against this damage CC, which is a Baby Dragon, Witch, and Archer CC. So you'll see that now what we're going to do is we're going to drop in that Rage and then drop in the Clone. That's going to clone up a bunch of loons here. Electro Dragon's going to take care of the big dragon, and now what you'll see, we are clearing out everything from the CC onwards. So all that chain value is huge. Even this, after this one goes down, you're going to see that it is going to take out the archer or the air defense there. And let's just pause it here. You can see there's not a lot of defenses left. It's really simple pathing. Because those air defenses were placed slightly more like they were in a sort of, four corners base, you'll see that now what we're going to do is we're going to drop in our Lava Hounds here, maybe one over here, but then we're just going to Lalo in that direction. We're going to try to make sure that we can easily get some Lalo pathing here, just going across this direction. We want to go for those, for the multi-infernos. Sometimes I have brain farts there, here and there, but you'll see that what we're doing is we're anchoring onto those defenses on the outside. Then we're going to use our Lava Hounds to tank, and we're going to use those balloons along with the Grand Warden to go in. So now you'll see that we're going into that first Inferno. Next, our next haste is going to go right over through the next one, and you can see we're going to pop our Grand Warden ability there. It's a smart move to do that, as well as you can make sure that you're getting a lot of good value from the base. Other than that, you're going to use another haste around that expo area, unless, of course, the attacker chooses to go for that wizard tower. So you'll see that we're being very patient, and you'll see that we're not going to place in that next haste until around there, and that is the biggest thing to remember. You're going to haste up to get to those key defenses. Wizard towers, expos, archer towers, the eagle, infernos, those are all important structures to haste through. And that is the biggest thing as far as I can tell for you guys. So with that being said, that's going to show you guys how you guys can use this strategy, how you guys can use the Electron Lalo. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss any content here on the channel. Feel free to also go ahead and join any of the clans I'm covering within the description below. You'll see all their Discord links there. And feel free to go ahead and join my community Discord. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram with the corrupt_YT_. Feel free to go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Follow me and subscribe on Twitch. We just streamed quite a while ago as of this recording, and I can safely say we are definitely working our way towards getting more sub badges and stuff like that. Also, feel free to go ahead and let me know in the comments below if you guys would like me to sort of do more videos on Lalo, and let me know which strategy of Lalo you guys want to see next, if you guys want to see this one again or something else. With that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.